After thinking about the issues we run into on a daily basis at the hospital, I realized that we need to improve. However, we have tried so many solutions and none seem to work. I just do not see how we are going to improve. Is there hope for a viable solution?
I understand your concern. With the Qareon project though, we have a tried and tested solution that has already proven result elsewhere. Let me try to explain how improvement works with the Qareon project. Imagine your hospital as the English Channel. All ships must travel through in order to reach their destination. As they travel through, however, problems or boulders arise. These create bottlenecks, slowing down their travel. In this scene, the hospital's patients are the boats. They must cross the channel as efficiently as possible. However, boulders or problems create bottlenecks, delaying the patient's treatment. A bottleneck is any organizational issue which leads to a delay. The question thus becomes, how can we resolve the boulders to improve patient care flow? To answer that question, we will take a look beneath the water surface. Imagine the following scene. The resources required to treat a patient is represented by the water level. The goal of a hospital is ultimately to discharge patients as efficiently as possible. Naturally, a patient is only dismissed once the treatment has been completed in full. What often happens though is that problems pile up, stressing out medical staff, delaying patient care, and leading to more resources being required for the patient's care. What we want to accomplish, however, is reducing problems in patient flow. The result is improved patient flow and a better use of hospital resources. It also reduces the amount of stress at work. With the Qareon project, we asked the following question: how might we tackle this task? How will we dismantle these boulders? One approach, also known as business process re-engineering, attempts to improve the situation by having a team of experts go in and analyze all the problems/boulders. Based on their conclusions, they aim to reorganize and restructure these so that they no longer inhibit patient care. The downsides to this approach, though, is that it is expensive, time-consuming, and complicated. Too often teams find that the solutions they have developed over 2 years' time have become obsolete as the context and variables have changed. Other times they discover that their costly solution is simply impractical upon implementation. The Qareon project utilizes a different approach. Instead of tackling the whole system at once, the Qareon methodology identifies and resolves the top boulder, the top problem preventing timely patient dismissals. With each problem/boulder that is resolved, the patient flow is improved and the capacity of hospital resources is optimized.
This is brilliant. By this approach, we do not have to be overwhelmed, because we only deal with one problem at a time.
Correct. And not only do we make improvements, but this approach also supports continuous improvement. Once one problem is resolved, we move on to identify and resolve the next top critical problem.
I still have one question though. How are we going to identify the most critical problem, the top boulder?
That is a great question. Let me try to explain. What we are going to do and learn in the coming courses is to set a goal for each patient. We start by asking ourselves, if no delays would occur, when would this patient go home? This becomes our goal for the patient's dismissal. Recognize though that this is the ideal. We assume in the project that this goal will not necessarily be met. Once we have a goal, we identify and track the essential activities that need to take place in order to reach the goal. We ask ourselves, what needs to happen before the patient can go home? We also identify how long each activity should ideally take. The results of these two steps are twofold. The first result is that the awareness of goals and activities and the decision to steer proactively towards them already leads to an improvement in patient flow and a reduction in the waste of resources. The second result of the Qareon process is that it allows us to identify delays which signal problems. What happens is as follows. When the ideal completion time for an activity or dismissal is not met, this signals a delay. A logistical delay signals a bottleneck or an area for improvement. When we subsequently discover that there is an area where a medical staff repeatedly run into delays with patient care, we discover the top critical problem that must be resolved. Result 2 thereby is that through gathering statistics on delays and their frequency, we can identify the top problem impeding patient flow and staff work. Identifying these means that we can make improvements that count.
Wow! This gives me hope that our situation at the hospital can improve with the Qareon project. I can't wait to continue to learn and implement the processes.
This is our chance, and your chance to improve patient care and our work at the hospital together.